Hey, good morning, everybody. Today I'm just going to review the videos I saw yesterday, and basically I probably watched around more than 10 videos, and we'll go over them. So the first video is this one, The Economist. They talk about what's been going on with China and America, and the basic conclusion to that video was that the U.S. is mad at China because they subsidize their business. So the government of China tends to help out its business a little bit too much, according to the United States, by supplying them with subsidies, so it boosts their economic growth much at a disadvantage compared to the U.S. because the U.S. pretty much is a free market system where everybody who wants to start a business has to work for it in a way that you have to prove that you are profitable and stuff. So in China, it's like, hey, we want business, so like we'll kind of like subsidize you, make it easy for you to start up. So they're already starting up at a huge advantage. So, but the benefit that we've been getting that we probably don't realize, this is my personal opinion, is that we benefited from China's subsidies because they subsidized their business. We pretty much were able to benefit by buying cheaper products from their country, and that's why we have cheap things here in the United States. So it kind of has been a level playing field where yes, they're growing fast, but we are also getting cheap products. So if it weren't for China, our products that we currently have that are from China would be much higher, and would be, if they were to be produced in let's say Mexico, they would cost more. They were produced here, they would cost more, and that's that. So that's pretty much the conclusion of that video. They pretty much, America's argument is with tariffs, by putting tariffs, they pretty much want us, the American people, to consume American goods from American factories and keep the money in the U.S. rather than exporting it out to another country. Because when you export money to another country by buying their goods, they pretty much get wealthier and they're able to recirculate our money into their economy and grow even faster. Okay, so next. Next video is Grant Cardone. I watched a lot of videos from him. You'll see more. This one pretty much explains why he is already a millionaire. He's rich. He's made it big, and his take on why people who are rich hide is because they are afraid of what people have to say. Because when rich people tend to come out and they're driving a fancy car, a lot of people get jealous. They criticize people, so might as well. Rich people just like, I'm just gonna hide. I'm not even gonna expose myself to that kind of negativity. Rich people. There's a lot of rich people who made it through humble beginnings. They didn't really inherit wealth. I mean, there's some that do, but there's many, like Grant Cardone's an example, that he came from humble beginnings. He was a drug addict. He was pretty much had a life. His youth was horrible because his dad died, and then he eventually got into a lot of drugs and was pretty much dealing drugs, doing all this bad stuff, and eventually he recovered, had a drive for real estate, and pretty much made it. So the reason he does these videos is to generally help and inspire those that are watching, like me, and in that sense, it helps me see what's possible. And if he can do it, I can do it kind of mentality. I mean, not necessarily I'm going to have the same results, but with that being said, that's pretty much what he's saying. Rich people hide because they get negativity from other people, and they'd rather not even go on social media because they're just going to get, bad mouth. Next video, secret nobody shares. What was this one? Let's see. He breaks and he becomes like... this one, he talks about his story. It's a really good video. You should watch it. It's in his channel, Grant Cardone. He talks about his drug addiction when he was younger, and pretty much he was beaten up and very close to death. So I recommend you watch his video. We'll put links in my description of the video. And yeah, this is a great video. It explains pretty much how his life changed, and it was very difficult for him to get out of addiction. And what finally made it for him is when he was in a rehabilitation center where he was trying to get off the drug, and he was doubted by the psychologist or the people that are supposed to help you. They pretty much said, like, you'll be back. You won't make it. Whatever you're dreaming and aspiring to reach, you're not going to make it. And that's pretty much what motivated him to reach that level of success. And I kind of relate to that because when I was younger, everybody doubted me, and they pretty much said I'm not going to make it in school. I mean, I wasn't even trying. I was pretty much a shitty student, but I knew I was different from other people in terms of, like, I didn't like video games. I didn't like really doing all that kind of fun stuff, like going to parties and stuff like that. There was a time where, I was pretty much rock bottom at a young age where my mom, and due to her circumstances, she was not able to, like, I understand. She was not able to, like, provide the help in school. So I'm not mad at her at all. Like, she did her best, but due to that, and many things, I was doing bad in school. So they pretty much, everybody gave up on me, and that kind of hurt. So I was like, you know what, screw you guys. I'm looking out for myself. I'm by myself. Everything I do is for me. Like, my successes, whatever I achieve in the future is going to be for me, not for you. But now, of course, I changed, and, like, I'm trying to give back because I understand my mom's circumstances. She's a single mother, raised me and my brother by herself, so it was very hard on her. Next video, this guy talks about mindset, pretty much saying that whatever you think becomes reality. So his main point was there's two things that go on in your head. you're either thinking consciously, you're consciously aware of your decisions, or you're thinking by default. I recommend his video as well. When you're saying like, hey, somebody suggests, hey, maybe you should start a business. Your default thinking, your unconscious mind automatically says, no, I can't. That's not possible for me. But if you use your switcher to like conscious thinking, he calls it direct thinking. You're pretty much thinking like, hey, how can I start a business? Activate your brain and stuff like that. So I like his video. Moving on to the next one. Grant Cardone, I like his he pushes a lot of content. So here he talks about what is it? How the rich get richer, and pretty much he shows the math on how the rich get richer and how they use taxes, debt, and real estate to get richer. How he pretty much shows the math. Depreciation is a factor. And pretty much wherever he buys real estate, he explains that he will buy real estate wherever the jobs are. So if there's jobs in a city, there's going to be a demand for real estate because jobs provide money for people to, eventually need a home. A home is something everybody has that has a job. I mean, I wouldn't mind living in my car even though I have a job. All right, next video. How to get a loan. He explains 4 ways to get a loan and invest in real estate. So first one is to invest by yourself, which is get a mortgage by yourself through the bank or mortgage company and stuff like that. Number 2 is to invest into a REIT, which is pretty much stock market, a real estate company providing stock for people to buy, and then you get like some dividends. An example of that is stock. There's a realty income corporation. There's something I'll eventually get back into it once it reaches around 74, and I'll repurchase it. So that's an example of something I would do. And then syndication is basically you form a group of people, a group of investors like me, and I'm like 10 other people, and hey, let's group up, put our money together, and invest. But you're actively investing. You're all working together, so it's not passive income. And number 4 is you invest into somebody. Cardone capital is what he calls it, and it's pretty much you give him money and he pays you back. You're pretty much investing in his ability to get great deals, and he pretty much pays back some dividends. Whatever return he gets on the properties, he keeps some of it. He gives some of it to you for investing, and which is pretty cool. If I reach a high income level, I wouldn't mind putting my money down and betting on him because he's been on the real estate game for a long time. All right, next video. This video is Yahoo Finance. Yahoo Finance talks about what is it? La, 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 la. Wait, I think I missed one thing. He had another video, which is really good. I'll find it later. Oh yeah, Yahoo Finance says pretty much the banks are pretty much getting very cheap rates. They're getting pretty much money like crazy. This period right here is when the last economic recession occurred in 2008. So this is pretty much almost the same pattern that's occurring. Even though the interest rates are lower, they still need lower interest rates to keep up with to stay afloat. So pretty much in the coming years, we might see a recession. We might see something like 2008, and that's going to be a little bit sad because, stocks will go down and stuff. So pretty much saying if the Federal Reserve increases rates, it's likely to cause a trigger in economic and will lead to an economic downturn. So that's that. Next video. He's this guy, Brian Casella, broke at 27, millionaire by 31. Great videos, great content. He pretty much in this video talks about secrets of a millionaire, and he's pretty much saying that you need money management, you need to increase your income, you need multiple streams of income, and real estate investing pretty much is what got him to being a millionaire by the age of 31 and started at 27. Well, he started probably before that, but he pretty much was wasting his money on stuff that didn't produce income whenever he did make money. Next one. Here he has a great video, 5 things you must change for success in 2020. I like that. I'm probably going to make my own little version of tips for 2020 or just personal goals. I'm not going to recommend anything. I'm just going to tell you what I will be doing. So like pretty much saying kick the bad habits that are draining you. So there's a lot of bad habits like either eating or binge watching Netflix, binge watching bad videos on YouTube that are not productive. So he also recommends next in 2020 master a craft. Probably be specific about something. Be focus in on a craft that you will be refining and specializing in. Number 3, this is optional. This is something you can do. You can be somebody who improves their personal brand if you have a business, or you could just be somebody like me who likes to blog and be on YouTube and pretty much say whatever they want to say. And you will provide some value. You have something to share to the world, why not share it? I think that's a very cool thing that we have now in social media. You get to share some important, valuable stuff. I would recommend something that maybe even entertains people. Why not? Okay, you can be part of that group where you just entertain and it's fun. I watch people on social media who are entertaining as well. Number 4, what's your competitive advantage? Pretty much what does he say about that? I think with that is just specialize with your specialty. What do you have over other people? Do you have time? You have a lot of free time, and when do you use that free time to learn other things? I think that's what he means by that. Number 5, upgrade the people around you. Basically saying it doesn't mean money wise, like you can improve people who have better mindsets, who have goals in life, not necessarily that they have more money. Some people have more money and they're still bad people that wouldn't want to hang around with. So next video. Advice for men. He pretty much saying that men should become leaders. Men should become decisive. They need to have responsibility. They should have the ability to provide resources, not just money, but like information, education, advice, wisdom, and then lastly, you have to be self-reliant. I would say that this is advice for men and women. Women and men, I personally think they could have everything the same. You don't have to assign certain attributes to just men. It could be both, and I highly recommend to pretty much to strengthen our community, our people. Men and women should have the same advice given to each other. So that's that. Next video, some tips for a better 2020. Pretty much, this one's very close to the other one. This one's just like tips instead of the other one was what habits that you must change. These are tips, recommendations. Here he says dedicate your time to one thing. Forgive your parents. If you have a bad relationship with your parents, forgive your parents. They've gone through a tough time. Maybe they had a difficult beginnings, and understand their situation. Maybe they had to raise you by themselves, like my mom, and I have improved my relationship with my mother now that I understand and see how hard it is to pretty much be working and provide. I don't even provide for children because I don't have children, and let alone just providing for myself could be stressful. My mom had to provide with minimum income job to 2 kids, so you can already see that was a very stressful situation. Putting food on the table, putting a roof over our heads, providing us with clothing, transportation, all that stuff took up her time, took up her energy, took up her resources, took up years of her life just to give us a living by herself. Amazing. In Los Angeles, so expensive area. Luckily, we had cheap rent. That was the only good thing. All right. Another thing he says is fix your finances. A lot of people don't talk about their finances, but finances is a very important part of your future. It is probably the biggest part of your future. If you are going to be living in expensive areas, you got to prepare for the unexpected. Next video is about the holidays. How the holidays, the holidays are destroying you. Very good video. I love it. He talks about how pretty much people tend to slack off during the holidays, like, hey, it's vacation, I'll get work done later, I'll take more days off than I have to. You're pretty much winding down on your progress, so you pretty much lose momentum. You start momentum at the beginning of the year, and then gradually you lose momentum, and then now you have to pick up again the momentum at the beginning of the year. Why not, instead of starting 2020, in the last video he said, why not start 2020 now, before it starts, like November, December, start it then, so that you already build the momentum and you skip the slack that we give each other during the vacations. He pretty much was saying that it's incredible how people are buying stuff that are cheap, are willing to wait in line for just a $50 discount, and that's true. Like, he's totally right. People are going to stores, waiting in line for some really dumb materialistic thing that doesn't bring value to their life. In fact, just destroys families, separates families. Getting a TV set instead of providing some quality time together. It's pretty incredible. Instead of dedicating time to working maybe more, or learning, reading a book, investing in themselves, they rather go ahead and wait in line for some discount. It's incredible. Number 2, or actually another thing is, don't spend time with people you don't like in the holidays. In the holidays, people, just get together as family, but there's probably some family members you don't like, and why waste your time going there? It's not worth trying to like force yourself to be in the place where you don't want to be. If it's just because it's the holidays and he says this, I'm gonna quote him, just because the holidays doesn't mean, and it's supposed to be like a happy place, your whole year should be a happy year, not just that specific day. That was just kind of like a abbreviation, a summary of what he said. Let's see, another thing was, a lot of people give in to weight gain. They just give in to whatever is served on the table, they're gonna eat it all. So that destroys their progress. You've been going to the gym for a long time, you pretty much ruin your progress and throw it away. So don't do that. There's another tip, but I forgot exactly what he meant by don't stress financially. Oh yeah, pretty much a lot of people just spend the holidays. They buy shit for people that are not somebody they really care about, just to show that they have money, even though they don't have money. And now you pretty much accumulate credit card debt, and now you're stressing out the next year, and then the next year you'll do the same thing. So stop it. Just make it a year where you just don't buy gifts for anybody. I rarely buy gifts for anybody. My mom, I'll send her some money, but even my friends, I don't buy them stuff. It's like, hey, I don't expect nothing from anybody. I don't even want gifts from anybody. That's how I am. This guy, the Money GPS, I'll just recommend his videos so you can watch it, listen to it. He goes on and on and on and on about how things are bad. He goes and explains a lot of graphs and charts, and it's just too long. Too much detail. Pretty much he's saying that, talking about PMIs. PMIs, what does that stand for? PMI, meaning, stands for private mortgage insurance. So, private mortgage insurance. So insurances are down. That's pretty much what he's saying. Don't know exactly what that means, but that they're discounted. Talks about money order index. He's saying that things are not expected to improve. Pretty much that they're pumping more money into the economy faster than the previous time they were doing it. And that pretty much whenever the money's pumped into the system, the stock market kind of reacts to it in a good way. So money in, stocks up. And basically, when there's earnings this year and earnings, he was saying that a lot of companies are just selling the dream instead of actually providing numbers and data that shows that they're profitable. They're just like, hey, in the future we're going to be profitable, we're going to be doing this and that, instead of providing actual factual numbers. Oh my god, I watched too many videos. This one, possible worst crisis since 1930s that will probably occur. That's pretty pessimistic. Pretty sad. I mean, I would hate to see that. The Heritage Foundation, pretty much saying that there's probably no relief that will occur from the trade war. There's no indication that there's going to be an agreement or a trade deal, basically. And it's been a year and 6 months, I think, and no solution. Trump's always like, yeah, we're getting close, and so like, we don't know. It's kind of like it's annoying to pretty much hear Trump saying that something's gonna happen, it doesn't happen. I don't know if he's doing the right thing. I personally not very well versed in this, but it's been a year and a half. I guess that's how long it takes to negotiate a great deal. If it's gonna be a great deal, it better be great. If it took that long, you know what I'm saying? All right, next video, Gary Vee. Love this guy. I like watching his videos. Great content. He's pretty much saying in this video that a lot of people are entitled to capital. Just because you have a good idea doesn't mean you deserve the money or to be funded from a company. And your idea doesn't mean shit. What really matters is, are you able to act and raise capital without, or pretty much increase your money little by little, rather than, let me just get the whole loan and start my business like that. Oh yeah, in the other video, in this one, I forgot to mention that they're pretty much saying that the only reason our economy is still good is because the consumer is the strong one right now. The consumer is able to keep the economy up by, we still purchase, we still buy stuff at a regular pace. So we are keeping the economy afloat by providing companies with our money that we use to buy their goods. So therefore, they survive like that. This one, Gary Vee again. Everything that happens in your life, it's 100% your fault, no matter what. Everything. Maybe not at a young age. At a young age, you're unaware. That's probably your parents' fault. At a young age, you do dumb stuff. You're not really conscious. You hit people. You get in trouble in class, but you're not really explained by your parents the values necessary to be a well-behaved little kid. Let's see. So he also says that we have a lot of free resources like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Snapchat, Twitter, all those in the background, and we don't use them. They're free, and we could advertise. If you were a business, you could advertise as free as you want. You don't necessarily have to buy the advertising or sponsored advertisements. You could just post on your regular page, put some hashtags, have organic reach occur. Basically, just people liking your content and sharing it by themselves without you asking them to share it. Invest in blockchain. Oh, that's something another video from Gary Vee. I think this is the last video. He's pretty much saying that you gotta choose a side when it comes to life. Let's say you're a very common person, or you're very sweet, or you're very sour. And if you're in the middle, you pretty much don't get noticed. So you want to be you want to choose a side. Like, hey, this is who I am, and this is how I act. I know people get reactions, get reacted, triggered or something like that, but it gets attention, gets people's attention. So that's important. Uh, and I like his take on happiness. He's saying to be happy, his perspective is, you gotta like hard work ethic, and you gotta like self awareness. So like you gotta be willing and like to be working 15 hours a day, doing whatever you gotta do. And he's saying that we are in a makeup era, quote, makeup era, where people will put on some flashy clothes, drive nice cars, and post it on Instagram and look rich. But in reality, that's just to, they think that's going to make them happy by getting the likes and comments. But in reality, it's not solving anything. What's really needs to be solved is your values, and, maybe you should work instead of borrowing money from your parents. He talks about saving money and live below your means. That's something I love to do. I love saving money. I love living below my means, way below my means, because you never know what's gonna happen in the future. You never know if a family member, like my mom, hey, I need to borrow some money. My car broke down. Okay, mom, here, and stuff like that. Even for myself, my car breaks down. I could, probably buy a new one that on Craigslist for cheap again. And lastly, he's saying that, in order to stay relevant in society, you want to be producing some content. You want to be putting some information out there. That's what I'm trying to do, just put information out there. The reason I make these videos is so that I condense all these 15 videos, around 15 videos, and make them into, right now it's going to be 30 minutes. If you were to watch all those videos, it would take about 9 hours to watch in total. More like 7 to 9 hours. And yeah, so I'm able to do that and watch those videos because I work delivering, and I have an earpiece on my ear, and I have a notepad to take notes. So that's that. I'm done with the video. Like and subscribe. And if you're watching this video in the future, I recommend just doing the same thing. Put a headphone and do whatever you gotta do. Wash your dishes as you listen to this. Basically, it's a podcast. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.